Sadness in Boulder. Deion Sanders' Colorado Buffaloes hit crisis mode after rocky 1-2 start. The mood in Boulder has shifted, and it's impossible to ignore. A year ago, the Colorado Buffaloes were college football's most captivating story. Deion Sanders, better known as Coach Prime, had turned a 1-11 team into a 9-4 national talking point, packed Folsom Field every Saturday, and made Colorado football must-watch television. The players believed, the fans believed, and the swagger was back. Fast forward to 2025, and it feels like someone hit the brakes on the Coach Prime train. Through 3 weeks of this young season, the Buffaloes are sitting at 1-2, and worse yet, they look like a team that has lost its identity. They've been pushed around in the trenches, shredded by opposing quarterbacks, and humbled in ways that no one in Boulder expected. The loss to Houston in Week 3, a 36-20 defeat where the Cougars racked up over 200 rushing yards, has shaken this program. And for the first time this season, the frustration inside Colorado's locker room has spilled into public view. George Hello's emotional message: "It's not okay to lose." The loudest voice this week didn't belong to Deion Sanders, but to defensive line coach and run game coordinator George Hello. On September 19th, appearing on the DNVR pregame show, Hello delivered a passionate message that lit up social media. "I mean, no one likes getting there but kicked, you know? And everybody should be ticked off about it." "I know I am," Hello said, his voice carrying the edge of someone who has had enough of excuses. "You high achievers don't like mediocre people, and mediocre people don't like high achievers." It was part frustration, part challenge. A rallying cry meant to light a fire under his players. Hello reminded everyone of his resume, which includes championships, to establish that his words carry weight. When you're around stuff like that, you have very high expectations and standards, and it's not okay to lose. It's not okay to not fix the problems that have gone on, and, I'm ready to get it right, and I'm looking forward. Hello didn't just talk about X's and O's either. He also spoke about belief and mentorship. It's putting your arm around your players and saying, "Hey man, I believe in you." This wasn't just a coach trying to fix technique. It was a man trying to restore confidence to a group of players that has been rattled. Deion Sanders' locker room under pressure. Coach Prime has been here before. He knows the highs and lows of football better than almost anyone. But the situation in Boulder is testing him in a different way. In 2024, Deion was the center of every national sports conversation, from ESPN segments to late-night talk shows. Now, he is facing a very different narrative. Can Coach Prime steady the ship when things go wrong? So far, Sanders has stayed steady in his message. Trust the process, stay accountable, and play with pride. But those words have to translate to results, fast, or Colorado risks letting this season slip away before October. The numbers don't lie. Colorado's defense is struggling. The statistics paint a painful picture. Rushing defense. Colorado has allowed 613 rushing yards and 6 rushing TDs in just 3 games. Georgia Tech gashed them for 320 yards in the opener. Houston added another 200 plus, and even Delaware had moments where they controlled the line of scrimmage. QB containment. Haynes King and Connor Weigman combined for 239 rushing yards and 5 rushing scores against Colorado. When opposing quarterbacks are turning broken plays into first downs, it breaks the spirit of a defense. Time of possession. Opponents are holding the ball for over 4 minutes more per game, which means Colorado's defense is spending too much time on the field and wearing down late in games. Yards per play. The Buffs are allowing 6.1 yards per play while gaining just 5.3 on offense. That is a recipe for constant uphill battles. Hello's frustration makes sense. This defense has not looked disciplined, physical, or urgent, 3 things he preaches daily. Offense missing its old swagger. Colorado's offense isn't bailing them out, either. Without Shedeur Sanders at quarterback and Travis Hunter at wide receiver/cornerback, both now in the NFL, the Buffaloes look average at best. They're scoring 23.7 points per game, down from over 30 a year ago. Their passing game has produced just 631 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Their rushing attack has been virtually non-existent, 372 rushing yards and just 5 scores in 3 games. Backup QB Ryan Staub has done his best, but this is not the same explosive Colorado offense fans were spoiled by last season. Fan frustration boiling over. Fans in Boulder aren't used to this level of disappointment anymore, not after last year's Cinderella story. On social media, some are calling for changes to the defensive staff, while others are pleading for patience. This is what a rebuild looks like. Last year we overachieved. This year we have to learn how to win without Shadur and Hunter. One fan wrote on X, "No excuses. This team has too much talent to be giving up 300 rushing yards in a game. Fix the defense." Another fan demanded. The energy around Colorado football is still massive. Folsom Field is selling out every week, but the patience of the fan base will only last so long if the losses keep coming. The psychological weight of losing. Perhaps the most telling part of Hello's comments wasn't about technique or strategy. It was about standards. When you're around stuff like that, you have very high expectations and standards, and it's not okay to lose, Hello said. That statement is as much about mindset as it is about football. Losing can become a habit just like winning can. Hello is trying to stop that habit before it takes root in this locker room. Players are human. They feel the disappointment. They see the tweets. They hear the critics. Part of Hello's job now is to keep them believing, to remind them that the season is long, and everything they want is still in front of them if they choose to fight. What needs to change? The good news? Colorado's problems are fixable, at least in theory. Run defense. Setting the edge and gap discipline are coachable issues. The Buffs need their front seven to play with more physicality and trust their assignments. Offensive balance. Colorado must find a way to run the ball effectively to take pressure off Staub. Right now, defenses are pinning their ears back and daring Colorado to beat them through the air. Situational football. Third downs and red zone opportunities are killing them. They're converting just 37% on third down, while opponents are converting nearly 39%. Winning those downs can flip a game. If they clean up those areas, this team could still claw its way back into Big 12 contention. The road ahead. Colorado's schedule doesn't get any easier. More Big 12 opponents are looming, and every one of them will come in looking to prove that last year's hype around Colorado was a fluke. For Coach Prime and his staff, this is the ultimate test. Can they turn talent and motivation into consistent execution? Can they teach this roster how to win ugly when the flashy plays aren't there? A season that could define an era. This 2025 campaign could ultimately define the Prime era in Colorado. Last year's 9-4 season was magical, but this year is about proving staying power. George Hello's words, "It's not okay to lose," may end up being the turning point for this team. If Colorado responds to that challenge, this rough start will be remembered as the moment they found their edge again. If they don't, 2025 could become a cautionary tale about how quickly momentum can vanish in college football. For now, the locker room in Boulder carries a heaviness that only winning can lift. The next few weeks will tell us if this team still believes.